All right. Welcome back to the Starfighter podcast, the most anticipated show in the galaxy. We are back.
We are back.
It's Dom and Jake back from hiatus. It's been too long, but I'm so glad to be back. I'm excited. Jake, thanks so much for being here. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you for being here. All right. I'm doing fantastic tonight. All right. I'm just here. I'm living the dream. There's a couple movies that I'm anticipating for 2024, and I want to leave 2023 in the past and just kind of forget about it for a multitude of reasons.
You're giving some Kylo Ren vibes there.
I mean, if Kylo Ren
let the past die, right?
No, he never did. He just that poor fella.
He said he was going to, though.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't. You know, can never. He was running from his past. It kept on catching up to him. So poor fella.
Yeah,
he didn't live either. You know,
it's true.
Spoiler alert, episode 9. Sorry, folks.
I mean, it was the kiss that killed him. So
I think that's what it was. I think she put poison on her lips, killed him that way. She knew. Yeah, she just knew.
What an ending to an epic saga.
Somehow Palpatine returned. All right.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, whether it's live or on the replay. Please do us a favor, especially if you missed us. Hit that like button. Above all else, leave a comment. Let us know how you guys are doing, what you're excited about for this year when it comes to shows, any thoughts or opinions on the subjects that we talk about tonight. And then hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already. We appreciate it. And one last thing, you can also find us on the podcast feed, Spotify, Google Podcast, all that good stuff. All right, man. A couple of things to just throw out real quick. Things that we've been up to while we were gone. I got really busy with music stuff, released a new album, played an awesome show in Oregon, which was really fun. That's what I was up to. And then I just want to share this real quick. Shameless little plug. You guys can check out my new album on Spotify. It's called Grand Theft Love by Moon Heist. Feel free to check it out. And then, of course, you can find all my other albums and singles. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, it's there. And I do appreciate it. But yeah, super stoked about that. The album's doing really good, especially a couple songs in particular. And then, yeah, getting to play the album was a lot of fun. Other stuff I've been up to, getting addicted to Lego Fortnite. We've still been putting out some content because I've been streaming that with my brother and some friends quite a bit as well. Yeah, that's what I've been up to. Jake, anything from you?
I've been working a lot, and that's basically what I've been up to. Nothing too crazy. Just the 9 to 12, and by 12 I mean midnight. You know, so
right.
Just been doing that. Besides that, you know, nothing too crazy. Just catching up on some TV shows. I was trying to watch Percy Jackson a little bit. I know you've been enjoying that, so.
I'm not. I'm like episodes behind. I'm a few episodes behind, but I've been thinking.
I'm only on like episode 3. Yeah.
I think 3 was my favorite.
Which one was 3? Was that the Medusa one? No. Yeah, that was 3. Medusa one, right?
My favorite has been either 3 or 4 when they go to the museum and like that monster attacks him.
Well, thanks for spoiling it for me, Dom. I really appreciate it. All right.
You've read the book and everything, and you've seen the movies.
I've seen the movies. I haven't read the book. I don't like to read. I'm illiterate. Illiterate.
We had to read the book when we were in school. My class did, and I know like other kids.
What year?
Thing. I don't remember, but it was probably like 6th grade.
Oh, see, so I had to read the Odyssey. Might be a little bit different, you know. Yeah. The Odyssey. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Kind of similar. Little Greek mythology going on there, but
yeah.
That's a great book.
Nice.
Read it. The Iliad. Go check it out, folks.
But you've been enjoying that series so far?
I semi enjoy it. It's not like my favorite series in the world, but it's definitely better than a lot of other things that Disney Plus has been putting out. So I'm kind of
Gotcha.
with it. Honestly, I've been rewatching The Bad Batch. I told you the other day.
Yeah,
That's
right.
so good. It's honestly, it's such a great series that, and there's so many episodes in each season that you will forget a couple of them, especially since they're on season 3 now and they kind of take their time with it. I think what season 1 that must have come out in 2020. I feel like that's probably when it came out.
Yeah. So are you feeling like you're finding like a brand new appreciation, like even more than before this time on the rewatch?
Yeah, I mean it's terrible because I know it's gonna happen to some people, and so I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I'll have to go back and rewatch what we said about the season 2, but I think I had a feeling someone was gonna die, and I might have even said who it was gonna be because how much attention they were giving him. But yeah, I mean it's they could have taken it different directions. I'm going back through it. I'm like, okay, I thought this was gonna happen. Wrecker has problems in season 1. I thought he was gonna snap like Crosshair.
Yeah,
but he never did. So, but I've been enjoying it.
I guess like two of my favorite things from that series has been just some of the battles are really cool, especially with like Crosshair. Some of his trick shots, I think are just so awesome, like something really fun. But then I think what stands out the most to me is uncovering like these secrets and the mystery behind like the birth of the Empire. And I like that things have kind of carried on from Clone Wars, you know what I mean, as far as like stuff like the Zillo Beast, for example, you know what I mean. There's just like these different secrets that the Empire has kept, and it's really cool. Like it's something that they've been doing really well at when it comes to like filling in some gaps, I guess you could say, and then also kind of foreshadowing and giving us plenty of stuff to speculate on for like the future, because like there season 3 of Mandalorian and then Bad Batch season 2 were going on at the same time, and there were things that we saw from Bad Batch season 2 that were kind of like hinted at in Mandalorian, so which is like takes place, way further in the future. But yeah, stuff like that was just really cool.
Yeah. And I can't get over episode 1 of season 1. That was like it's a movie long episode, and it's such a great like start to the series.
Yeah.
That like it just grabs you, like pulls you into this new era that we, like what you said, don't really know too much about, especially from the point of views of like clones. So it's been like, I don't know. I just love it. It just disappoints me to watch it because it's better than most of their live action stuff, and just
Yeah, you know what?
Hurts. It just hurts a little bit.
I feel like we could stay here on this topic for just a couple more minutes too, because I definitely want to get your thoughts on the season 3 trailer. But then right before that, I was going to mention, like you and I talked the other day on the phone. We were talking about how we both feel like this is kind of like when like Disney Star Wars is like really in their zone. It's really been with the animated stuff for the most part, because even if things get a little bit rocky during the season, like halfway through, somehow they seem to stick the landing in the end. Like I feel like season 2 was a perfect example with that. Like started out really good. There was definitely plenty of filler in the middle, and I think both of us got a little worried, but then like the ending just came back so hard and really hit home.
It did. Yeah.
which I think you were saying how like with some of the live action stuff that Disney puts out with Star Wars, with Marvel, it's like the opposite. I think we tend to like appreciate like maybe some of the stuff in the middle, and then like we're hoping for something really great at the end, but it just feels lackluster.
Yeah, that's like, I think they have more liberties and take more risks with the animated stuff, especially in Star Wars. I mean, it could show a lot more. It could be a lot more brutal in those shows, rather than if it was live action, you probably couldn't show someone's getting his like arms cut off and then like stabbed through the chest. People would be like, "Oh, that's too brutal." They wouldn't do that, but I don't know.
I know we
they
got
probably
some
would.
we got some of those things in Clone Wars and in Bad Batch too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
They're
like the stakes feel, yeah, they're darker. They feel heavier. I mean, even Tales of the Jedi,
Yeah,
it was just a different feel than a Disney-fied Star Wars. So, um, on that note, I don't know if I'm really looking forward to Mandalorian movie or the Rey movie.
mhm.
We'll see what happens, but I think it's time for Star Wars to go DC. Um, if that makes any sense to you, just a little bit grounded, a
Yeah,
little
just like
darker.
refresh.
Yeah, I don't need a droid that's gonna make 10 jokes or be the butt of every joke in a Star Wars movie next. I honestly want to see struggle, and um, I want to see a hero that has to go through something, and they don't do
Mhm.
that with the movies usually. I don't know if that's just because they think it's going to take too long for an arc or what, but yeah, I want to see someone lose something. I want to see them lose personally.
Yeah.
And I think it's about time. I think it's time for whatever they're doing next to be The Empire Strikes Back.
Hmm.
I think they tried doing that with Ahsoka this last year, but they didn't hit on like why it was such a big deal to where it just didn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I really liked Ahsoka for the most part, but yeah, I think I know what you mean. There were like maybe some missing pieces throughout
Some
it.
missing pieces, yeah. Like if they cemented what Thrawn was trying to do and be like,
Hmm.
"Oh crap!" Like he's gonna really mess everything up when he gets back. Like this is a problem. There
Yeah,
wasn't really any of that. There wasn't stakes. It like you know, um, no one really died. Ezra was totally fine. Everyone lived. I just, I need
right.
something. I need something. Like even so,
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back. The main thing with that was Han Solo died, and Han Solo was a massive fan favorite for a lot of people, and they
Wait,
didn't even know if
Empire
he.
Strikes Back. Said Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
He doesn't die in Empire.
he was supposed to. No one knew if he was coming back for the third movie, Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So they
I
killed
see what
someone
you're saying.
off basically, and you were like, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah,
like, and it was
because
someone
they
that
say
everyone
he's pretty much
liked.
as good as dead, basically.
Yeah, and he was already back then being like, "I don't know if I want to return for the third one,"
Hmm.
but they kind of just did anyways because everyone liked him so much. But he was supposed to be dead.
Hmm.
So said George Lucas. He wasn't supposed to come back. So, like they don't leave us with anything that makes us be like, "Oh no, like what's gonna happen?"
Yeah,
Like Shin Batty, totally chilling, totally cool.
loved her, dude.
I don't even say her name. Don't invoke her name on this podcast. Dom will go crazy. Get
Well,
in the
I was gonna say I want to see more characters like her, and then like Balin. I guess we don't know if Shin's gonna turn or not, but like
she's gonna turn.
I really like the commitment from Balin, and just in general, where I'm headed is I want to see more dark side villains fully committed. They believe in what they do, and they're not going to be, seduced by the light side. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to turn them to the light side. They're just, you don't always need Disney feels this need to like always turn their villains, and it's like, no, like you're doing that way too much. Like just have people committed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, they're bringing Asajj Ventress back into the picture. So,
That's true. Yeah, tell me a little bit about your
she's
thoughts
dead,
on.
but she's back, folks.
Tell me a little bit about your
She made
thoughts
a great
on the
sacrifice.
season 3
dude.
trailer.
She made a great sacrifice, and then they're like, "We're just gonna bring her back," which okay, I get it.
Well, Ventress dies in the novels. She doesn't.
Yeah, she dies. Okay, well, I guess that Star Wars got rid of legends and like what actually ever was written down on paper. But yes, she dies saving one of the guys that were in Rebels.
Mhm.
We saw him a couple times. I forget his name, but she sacrifices herself for him, and it's interesting. I mean, whatever. I think I called it when we were watching Ahsoka. I said if they're going to bring anyone back into the series, it's going to be Asajj. I spilled the tea on why I thought that. Go back, watch the video. I'm not going to do it here, folks. I need those extra views. But yeah, I'm okay with it, I guess. I liked her character. I just don't know. I don't need to see her anymore. Like, let it.
What about the yellow sabers?
I know they're trying to pull some Rey Skywalker stuff with the yellow sabers, and I don't know. Whatever. They're trying to make her a gray Jedi. I get it, and that's like why I didn't like Ahsoka. I was like, just give me good and bad, like what you're saying. Like, if you want to do gray, like cool. But I feel like that's all they've been trying to do.
I don't know. I like the orange stuff, bro.
I do too, but I think all they're
saber.
doing is gray right now. You know, like everything about. I mean, even episodes 7, 8, 9 were about Rey like not wanting to be like an actual Jedi and be like a gray Jedi, and she like understands like how to get people back from the dark side because she's kind of part of the dark side, and it's just I'm kind of over it. I'm like, stop making everybody gray. Like, let me just have someone that's super bad. Which I heard they're bringing back Vader for Bad Batch season 3, so enjoy that, everybody.
You think Vader's gonna take out some of the crew?
I would love for Vader to kill Asajj, rip her apart.
Why? Because Ventress is gonna work for the Bad Batch.
Yeah, she's gonna help him out, but like, if they want to do anything that's impactful with her character, then like let her be a sacrifice, like she was in the comics and in the books, in the lore.
That'd be a cool fight.
You know what I mean? That would be really cool.
Vader versus Ventress.
I don't even think we've seen that, so I'd be stoked to see that. And clearly,
last time they fought, remember last time they fought, Anakin was trying to clear Ahsoka's name because she was wrongly accused of treason, and murder,
babies,
and murder, and Anakin like started to choke her out because he thought that Ventress was the one that framed her.
Well, let's close that chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I like that they brought her back, but I don't want to see her in the Mandalorian movie. I don't want to see... I'm so sick of them bringing people back in Star Wars. It's like, let them die. Just let them be. Like, just take some risks. Like, make a character everyone likes and kill them. You know how I am, Dom.
I know how you are.
Yeah, that's more impactful, man.
That's why we love you, Jake. But yeah, I think we'll probably move on to some Marvel stuff here, but I'm definitely looking forward to season 3 of Bad Batch. You guys, if you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. It is the last season, and Star Wars The Bad Batch has been one of the best series. The animation just keeps getting better and better. There's some great stories, stuff that impacts the entire Star Wars canon, and like really hits some emotional beats in there too. Like
Oh my gosh.
you get invested with these characters 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Season 2 finale.
And honestly, I going into Bad Batch, like when it first came out, I didn't think I was gonna get invested into the characters, but
I didn't either. Yeah. They're kind of no names, you know? They were in a couple episodes of Clone Wars, and then
yeah,
there's like a new character involved in it, and it's wild. It's wild. I'm excited to see Darth Vader come back in anime. So
yeah, it's gonna
like
be
I love
cool.
his look in any of the Clone Wars or anything. Yeah, it's sick. All right,
That's gonna
what
be
do you
awesome.
want to talk about? Some Marvel news. What do you got on the docket?
All right, so we've been hearing some stories about Spider-Man 4. I do want to like talk a little bit about some Daredevil stuff at some point as well, but you know, they've been saying how we know Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back as Kingpin. They've been talking about how he's going to play a part in Spider-Man 4. Potentially, we'll see Daredevil as well. But then there's also been rumors that Toby and Andrew are coming back for Spider-Man 4. And so what I want to know, Jake, is Sony doing the right thing here by making it this kind of like really big event? Or should they instead be making them separate movies? As in, Toby gets his Spider-Man 4, Andrew gets his Spider-Man 3, Tom gets his Spider-Man 4, that sort of thing.
I would have a few questions, but I would just say it depends on what you think.
I'm asking you what you think.
Yeah, I know. But what I mean is, you don't know what they're going to do with the third Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or whatever it is. Maybe they do something that's really cool that, like, if they want to do it into a movie, that you're like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense why they're there. Maybe they're going to both be in that movie Across the Spider-Verse or whatever the title is for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And they could make it work. Me personally, give me more Andrew and Toby. Specifically, give me more Andrew. I'm way more down for some Andrew. I thought that they would make him the main Spider-Man of the SSU?
Sure.
And Sony Spider-Man universe. So, am I still here? Or am I glitched out?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I think you're good.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Kingpin, please don't show me ever again in any sort of MCU, like anything. Just don't. You ruined him. Let him die in the corner in Echo. Just leave him there. He's not even a threat anymore. Just don't. Just leave him.
Just it's a hot take.
That's the most cold take anyone's ever said ever. You ruin a character, just leave him. Like, sorry, you did that. That sucks. I really wish you would do something else. I almost ruined Daredevil in that series. I was just like, okay, for sure. So for me, I don't care. I want to see Scorpion or some sort of Sinister Six come out of it. I know Kingpin's semi-involved with that, but if they made it Osborn, I'd be totally cool with Osborn doing it as well. But yeah, I mean, the more Spider-Man, the merrier. I really could care less. If you're asking me if I want to see them in their own separate movies, I would say, yeah, I would love to see them in their own separate movies, but I feel like that would be like a 6-year plan at least to show maybe them in their own separate movies and then bring them back together in this movie. So we'd have to wait a long time to see what like other plan they are putting together right now.
I just feel like it's not the smart way to go just because No Way Home did so great. If you continue to put all three of them together in these like big events, it loses its magic. You know what I mean? Instead of like understanding that the fans absolutely love Andrew and Toby still.
Yeah.
They always wanted Toby's Spider-Man 4, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4. And then they always wanted Andrew's Spider-Man 3. And like even after No Way Home came out, like because of how everyone reacted to seeing Toby and Andrew again, there had been so much talk about both of them getting their own films once more. So to hear now that they're going to put that potentially they're going to put the three of them back together, I just don't feel like is the smart way to go personally. I think it loses its magic a little bit.
Yeah, and see, I feel the same way that like what you're saying, but I think that they could do it in a smart way with the animated series, and almost leave that as like an open-ended book by the end of it.
What animated series?
To.
Oh, like with
Spider-Man. Yeah. So unless they can do something like that, because I'm like my couple questions I was going to have was what comes out first? What would come out first? Would it be the animated series or would it be live action? Because like they could make it work either way if they wanted to. I mean, it's Sony, and yeah, I still think if they did that with the 3 Spider-Man, people would show up.
Oh, 100%. And like obviously, I'm showing up no matter what.
Yeah, but if they could capture like the animated audience and be like, "Oh, well, this happened," like like they could swindle their way into doing it to make it a good. But I think you're right. I would much rather see them on their own. But like, I would like to see Andrew Garfield in the Sony universe, Tom Holland in the Marvel universe. Like we talked about Madam Web before this, they were going to have Andrew Garfield in Madam Web or tie in his story to it, but then they realized how stupid they were because they didn't understand the storyline and like the years. They don't understand dates basically, so it wasn't going to work out. But
right.
I don't know, whatever, do what you gotta do. It's a burning building. There's no saving it, folks. As long as the foundation's still strong, we can rebuild. They got Ragnarok, folks.
The other thing too, hopefully I don't lose my thought here. Sorry. Is that no worries. It's like it's really cool to see them have this awesome team up and come together, right? Like no one's arguing that. Like it's awesome to see. It was awesome in No Way Home, all of them fighting together, and it worked very well. But we want to see like their stories still. The fans want to see the Andrew Spider-Man story continue, as well as Toby, and like they hinted at certain things as far as like what they've been up to. Toby's Spider-Man, alluded to him and MJ, they end up together. Somehow they made it work, right? And then, Andrew said something like he didn't really have the time for someone in his life at the moment. So like, what was he doing in that time? You know what I mean? Or like, how was he dealing with that still after the loss of Gwen?
He was murdering fools is what he was doing, punching holes through faces.
Well, Andrew's Spider-Man has always been my favorite, and I've said this a couple times, but
it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
All right, let's go back on record a couple years ago, folks.
No, go ahead. Andrew's Spider-Man is based on the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, which is my favorite version of Spider-Man, and it's also the version of Spider-Man that we've seen in the comics get the black suit, and so who knows, he could have gone crazy for a minute. Like, what if episode or the third movie he gets the symbiote suit and he just goes absolutely crazy? You know what I mean?
Well, there's already been announcements for Venom 3, which is going to be an interesting story. But if they can introduce Andrew Garfield into that universe, as in he's been that way the whole time, and then they kind of carry on like a new Spider-Man trilogy with Andrew Garfield after he gets the suit, like what you're saying. So he shows up in that movie because in the comic books, Venom 3 is supposed to be about Toxic. And I don't know if you know about Toxic. It's the kid of Carnage, and Carnage and Venom team up. No. Carnage and Toxin team up because they want to kind of just take over everything, and then Venom has to team up with Spider-Man, and so they have to kill Carnage and Toxin. They might do that in the third Venom film, but if they end up doing that and have like Andrew show up, and then Andrew gets like a part of the symbiote, then they do go on this whole other like, this is what's been going on since like Gwen died. Maybe like Venom's been going on when Gwen has been dying. Like I would love for that to happen. And he has to show up, and it's been like 5 years since Gwen died, and he shows up and he's been fighting all these things, and he helps Venom, and he still has all this rage. And that's why Venom likes him so much, is because he has all this rage, and like he like kind of, and I would love to see that, but I don't think they're gonna do that. But so I don't know what they're gonna do, man. All right, I'm not an
like if he needs like a new love interest that isn't Mary Jane, like we haven't seen Black Cat yet, and
we haven't seen Black Cat.
That'd be pretty cool.
And he hasn't had Mary Jane in his universe.
Yeah.
So they kind of did the opposite with Andrew Garfield. Spider-Man supposed to be Mary Jane in high school, Gwen Stacy in college. But they did Gwen Stacy in high school. Maybe they'd flip it and do Mary Jane in college. I would love to see Black Cat show up. Gosh, you have no idea how much I'd love to see Black Cat show up.
Me too.
Yeah. You get that Black Cat going.
She's rad.
She's something. All right, folks.
They get it.
They get it. Okay, as long as they understand what I'm going for here. But yeah, so I don't know what they're gonna do with the Sonyverse. They could take it a lot of different directions, I guess, is what I'm saying. Either tie in their animated series to live action, or what. We're getting introduced to Madam Web. I think they totally messed that movie up.
Andrew was supposed to be in that. Did you know that?
Yeah, I just explained that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed that. was thinking too much about Black Cat.
Yeah, you were. That. Yeah. Your head was in the clouds. So yeah, I would like to see like that kind of be addressed at some point. But I think that Madam Web was supposed to be like a pretty pivotal movie, and it's going to be terrible. But if they did that movie right, they could have so much room to play with everything. So it's kind of disappointing that they're really screwing up.
The fact that it's a standalone, film now, when it was supposed to be, a canon film that tied into Spider-Man, potentially tying into Venom as well, or just like, all these other movies in the Sonyverse. The fact that now it's a standalone film, like I feel like hurts them so much. Like, that was like part of the reason for people to go see this. You know what I mean? Because it mattered and would tie into Spider-Man and all those other things.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have much faith. It could have been a standalone film, but I just don't think they had the story down well enough. Execute it being a standalone film, where basically at the end of the movie, Madam Web is stuck in the web, and she is like a paraplegic and is seeing like every possible Spider-Man out there. I don't think they're gonna end the movie like that, but if they did, they could still tie in her to him, to the Miles Morales animated series, to Tobey Maguire, to Andrew Garfield, So we'll see how it ends, but there does not seem like the CW is intelligent enough to put together. So yeah, I don't know. So he's in a weird place.
The trailer was pretty mid. And then most people don't know who Madam Web is. I do, because I grew up with the animated show, the animated Spider-Man. Yeah. Did you ever watch that?
Oh yeah, I watched all of them. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you
I know
know
who Madam
who?
Web. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
How
own.
would you
I
describe
bought the
her
whole
to someone?
series. Yeah. In one like sentence.
Like,
She's like the
what is she?
Watcher,
Yeah,
is what I would describe her. I mean, she's
she's
like
like
kind of
this
like a
voice
mentor.
for Peter, like peers into the future.
Yeah. Peter's the future. She's a mentor. She's seen everything. She kind of like knows where someone's at on their journey. That can like kind of intervene and like help them to make the right decisions. So I just honestly think of her like as like the Spider-Man specific Watcher. That's just kind of, I don't want to say like an all-knowing being, but she's aware of everything else that's going on, like within that Spider-Verse. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sums her up pretty good.
Something.
Maybe this will segue us into Daredevil a little bit. But you said you've seen that animated series, the original one. When I was a kid, my dad bought me this VHS of the Daredevil versus Spider-Man, and they have it all on Disney Plus now. But I used to watch. It was 2 episodes. I used to watch that VHS like so much, and so that's how I became a huge Daredevil fan. And I did want to talk a little bit about him as well. I wanted to talk about Spider-Man and Daredevil because we've been getting a lot of news about both. And title of our episode, can those two characters kind of save the Marvel universe for us again? Daredevil really impacted Marvel fans through the Netflix series. Now Disney is gonna have its own Daredevil Reborn show, bring Charlie Cox back, Vincent D'Onofrio, and then the characters that played Karen and Foggy, who I love them as well. So I'm really excited about that. Pretty hyped about it. And then, and we've already touched on, what could potentially happen with the next Spider-Man. But how are you feeling about Daredevil? How are you feeling about Daredevil and Spider-Man? We know that they're most likely going to be crossing over. They already kind of have so far. But these two characters, like, do you think that they still have like the potential to course correct Marvel for us again?
You want to be honest or nice?
Well, we can never have both, right? So
nope, you can't. So I guess we're going honest. No, I don't think they're gonna do anything.
I mean, I also want to know. Your feelings on like how you enjoy both of those characters too, like what they mean to you.
Okay. Yeah. Kill off Courtney Cox as the Daredevil. That's what I call him, Courtney Cox. After he was walking home with the shoes in his hands, barefoot, that's Courtney Cox to me. And bring back Ben Affleck as Daredevil, and let's just have a go at it. Let's go round 2, baby. Let's go round 2. Let's finish off that movie franchise.
It's like we never left, Jake.
Never did. Never left. Yeah, honestly, I would love to see Ben Affleck come back in Secret Wars or did I say Secret Wars? And that one movie, what is it? It's not Secret Wars, is it? It's
I think so.
Yeah, it's Secret Wars, yeah. I'm getting mixed up with Secret Invasion. Yes, yeah, so in Secret Wars, if we can get Ben Affleck back, I'd be super stoked about that. Give me that cameo. A. B. They can't save it. Daredevil, to me, I grew up with Ben Affleck, and I loved that series, and I loved I loved that movie. And the Netflix series was really good. I enjoyed it.
I think Charlie Cox is amazing.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. But I don't trust Disney. I don't think they're going to do him right, even though they're rewriting the entire show and they listen to fans and are bringing back Foggy and
it's a start.
Karen.
It's a start.
It's a start, and they're bringing back Bullseye, which is like my favorite character from that TV series on Netflix.
And don't spoil any of that with him.
I'm gonna try not to, but he is a formidable foe. Okay, and he gets the best of Daredevil quite a few
Eh.
times. He gets him good, and I would hate for them to like Disneyfy it and make Bullseye turn against whoever the main bad guy is, because come on, Bullseye is just a psychopath. Um, but so I love Spider-Man. I love Daredevil. I want them to be together. I don't think they could save Disney because they're too street level, is basically what it comes down to. I think that Disney has way too much going on right now to make them be a main part of a massive story that's going on.
I don't think
Unless,
Spider-Man is too street level.
but he is. But he is, right?
In what way? Or maybe I don't even
And
know what you mean
in
exactly.
every way. I mean, they left him street level at the end of the last movie. He literally has spandex and web shooters at this point in his life. He doesn't have Stark technology. He's very street level. He's going after people on the ground. He's protecting New York City. He's protecting the little guy.
I think
He's
I know what you're saying now.
He's very street level right now. And he always is usually very street level. He's never going and fighting Thanos on a planet. I think that's what I mean. I think Disney has confused their watchers, and I think they did too much with some of these characters, and there's too much going on for us to be like, oh, Disney's Daredevil and Spider-Man are so good. Like, they're doing everything right. It's going to be like, okay, well, what the heck else is going on in the universe, and what aren't they paying attention to? And then it's just a mess right now. So something needs to happen. I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy seeing them or anything like that, but watching them, I will be in the back of my mind thinking, why aren't they doing more for whatever else is going on right now in the universe? Because they already gave us Spider-Man in space. We already know he's been there. So like what you're like saying, like he's not street level, but like he is. But like we know he's
Right.
not.
I
And
was thinking you meant something else as far as like popularity, or couldn't like
okay.
withstand a major battle, which we
He
haven't.
would.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to is what I was gonna say. Like, in the Secret Wars comics,
Mhm.
I believe Spider-Man is supposed to play a really big role as far as like one of the leading characters, and like they've been talking about Andrew and Toby kind of like being leaders, like leader roles in Secret Wars as well. And then like throughout the comics, different runs, issues, Spider-Man has been like an Avenger. You know what I mean? Not just like solo doing neighborhood stuff, or but he's actually been an actual Avenger.
No, Spider-Man's OP almost. I mean, he heals himself, and he's super strong and super smart, and most of the time makes his own equipment. Daredevil's way more street level for sure than
Yeah.
you think about it. He doesn't have extra strength. He doesn't possess the ability to snap his arm in half and then within 24 hours it be completely healed. But yeah, so yeah, street level, I don't think popularity wise they're gonna have too many issues with those characters. I just think that it's not gonna save them. I don't think that they're gonna be smart enough to put them into a situation that they're going to have a massive impact in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if that makes sense. Because I think a lot of people really like seeing Spider-Man struggle. I know a lot of people want to see Peter Parker not get the girl and him be alone and finally be on his own and struggle through college and struggle with having a double life and all the stuff they honestly didn't even touch on really in the MCU. He was the smartest guy in his school. Everybody loved him, gave him everything. Could have dated the hottest chick that was a senior. Like, I just think they gave him way too much in the MCU. Like, time to tear him down. And I just don't think it fits in with their like overall plan of having the multiverse collapse and all this other, because like I want to see Spider-Man as Spider-Man, and I don't think we got to see that in the MCU. And I think they destroyed that part of the Spider-Man story, and I don't think they can
Mhm.
get it back. I mean,
You're
shoot,
not liking the Tom stuff as much? Is that what you?
yeah, we didn't even get to see Uncle Ben die. We didn't see him struggle through that at all. We saw him with his aunt that he loved so much that like took over the place of Uncle Ben. Like I don't, like I just think that they gave him way too much for, and there's too much going on in the universe right now for us to be like, okay, like let's settle down and let's sit inside the story. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, am I excited for it? Yeah. Like I love Spider-Man. I love Daredevil. Do I have optimism to think a great series for Daredevil? No, not really. I think it's gonna be trash. Honestly, I think it's gonna be 50-50. I think we're gonna get some great moments and some most of it being like, I don't get this.
I I think because they're trying to listen to the fans and understand that they had something special with the Netflix stuff and how they wrote the characters there. I think if it's not good, it's gonna be decent. Is how
And
I
that's a
feel.
problem, dude. Like the Netflix series is so good. The fact that they even were like, oh, let's bring this same character in and try to do the same thing is like a red flag in it of itself.
And like
You're gonna
change them up,
yeah,
change
you're
them
gonna
up.
be like, this is terrible. Like, where's my Daredevil that I saw
Hmm.
that was just fighting regular
Yeah.
dudes in the street?
Because then like you might as well not bring the same actors because like it's just weird. Like, oh, same actors because they're awesome, but different Daredevil, different Kingpin.
Yeah.
Like that's stupid.
So I'm just like cautiously
Yeah.
optimistic,
I'm
as
glad they
in,
fixed that at least.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and there's confusion. I mean, there's so much confusion right now with, well, what Netflix series is actually part of the universe, and well, oh, by the way, guys, all of the X-Men series is supposed to be canon now. Like, what?
I did hear
Like,
about
there's,
that.
you know what I'm saying?
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Like they're just, I don't even know how to explain it. I think they're just like digging themselves into a bigger hole right now. I said it after Endgame, and we've talked about it so many times. Like,
Hmm.
we shouldn't have even gotten a Marvel movie yet. I don't think.
So you had a point.
Like, I think we should have, at least this would have been like the next first Avengers movie after maybe 2 or 3 movies of something else.
Hmm.
And I think that this was supposed to be like, if phases 1 through 3 was in history, I think phases 4 through 6 should be like the Dark Ages for Marvel. I think it should be a lot of struggle with a lot of characters, a lot of new people coming in, a lot of old superheroes that don't want to be heroes anymore. You know, people that are just like if you ever seen Watchmen, like just guys that are kind of brutal that like don't want to be heroes anymore. Like I feel like there should have been like a very tumultuous time in the Marvel
Yeah,
Cinematic
it
Universe.
makes me think of like Civil War is. I think Civil War is still my favorite MCU movie. I think it's amazing. Um, but like what you were saying made me think of if I understand correctly, like the Civil War comics and like that timeline is spread out through like possibly months, maybe even those events go on a year, maybe longer, but it just like,
Mm.
a good chunk of time, right? Like, and I feel like something like that could really um go a long way, having these confrontations between the different heroes, you know what I mean? Like, as much
For
as I
Civil
love Civil
War,
War the movie, but like,
they could
what
have
if
made
they?
that into like 2 phases at least. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
seriously.
people fighting each other, people backstabbing each other. You know,
Yeah,
like they
because it
could have.
wasn't something that was resolved so quickly, you know what I mean?
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
So I think something like that could be good for him. Yeah, what you were saying, like the Dark Ages, something like that.
Yeah, I think that this is supposed to be like a time with no superheroes, almost like with superheroes that didn't want to be superheroes, with superheroes being selfish now that they feel like they saved the world, almost, you know, like I did this for you guys, like now, like I want my own space, I want this and that and this, and then realizing that they can't be selfish because there's a greater threat that's coming, you know, like literally that could have been 4, 5, and 6 phases right there. Just like give me like phase 4 of just that trash, and then phase 5 of them realizing we're trash and we need to figure out because there's somebody else coming, to like phase 5 even being like, well, let's get these new guys in and like figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they just rushed it, and I think Eternal sucked, and which is honestly terrible to say because I think Eternals is one of the best, like, better movies or anything they've put out in a long time.
I like Eternals.
That's not a good thing to say, dude.
Yeah, I liked Eternals.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought Shang-Chi was really good.
but you look at what they put out now, and I think Shang-Chi is excellent. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's part of the, like, makes so many bad things that I think, oh, okay, well, some things in Phase 4 were the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
You know, we got Secret Invasion, so maybe we just take a step back. But I don't want to do that. I want good storytelling. I want them to like keep things contained, and I think that they've let the cat out of the bag, and now they don't know what to do with it. So
yeah, sometimes, like, even though it sucks to not have that content like right away, as you know, as soon as we would like it, it's crucial sometimes for them to take more time and go back to the drawing board and really work on the story and just develop everything, you know, and be really thorough about it. And yeah, the last couple of years, like, I think they saw the success from like WandaVision, and then they're like, yeah, let's just keep shooting them out, you know, and like it didn't work.
which kind of brings me to something you just said, like they just kind of been pumping it out, right? And like we wouldn't have content, is what you said. If they weren't pumping things out, we wouldn't have content, which I think is hocus pocus baloney. I feel like Disney, like MCU, was built off of theories and rumors and all this stuff, and it was anticipation is what it was built off of. And so they got to, and I think Spider-Man No Way Home was a great example of what could be if they just took their time, with people speculating and being like, who's in it, what's going on, like what's the story, and they're very keep it under wraps. And I think they just turned out way too much and kind of ruined the fun for a lot of fans, where they'd be like, oh, there was Easter eggs in that movie, maybe you should go back and watch phase like 2, like Iron Man like 3.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know. And nowadays it's just like, well, here's this, like characters we don't care about. Like, I'm sorry, Echo, no one cared. Like, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna go fight Thanos? What, she's gonna get her ancestors in there and mess them up? No. Like, get out of town, dude. Galactus comes, eats a planet, and she's like, I'm gonna jack you up with my arrow. No, okay, what are we doing? But so I think that like that was part of what made them great, was the fact that like they would wait and it would be content constantly, and they had like leaks they would even like let out. And nowadays it's just like, oh, we're just waiting for the next one. Like, we're just sitting here hanging out. Like, when's it gonna come out? Like Deadpool 3, come on now already. But see, Deadpool is doing the same thing Spider-Man did, which they're like, oh, well, here's like a little taste. Like, maybe it's in there, maybe it's not. Like, what's gonna happen? So I just think they got away from a formula that they had perfectly set. I think they need to go back to giving us a few things.
Back to formula.
Back to formula. You know how much I sacrifice. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
Because you said no content, but I feel like we actually had like more content then, and people were like more engaged with it because like we were.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. It's like you know, we didn't have like all these shows, so like we had all of this short form content But I think what you're saying is that actually made us lose the magic that we had before, because in between our bigger content, the films, there was so much speculation, so much theories, that your audience was having a lot of fun with waiting. You know what I mean? Um, they didn't mind waiting as much in between films, because the films were really good, and then, like you said, they gave you reasons to go back and like do a little bit of digging into some of the films before, and just like build up this anticipation. um and now they just keep pumping out these mediocre shows, and now it's like we've lost the magic, we're losing the excitement and the anticipation for stuff.
Yeah.
Is where we're at.
So I think that like speculation and excitement and theories, I mean, that's where YouTube channels were born, you know, was like about Marvel.
Yeah.
Was us speculating and being like, oh, well, I think they're gonna do this, I don't know. Now it's just too much. Just calm down. Like, honestly, if they got a really good director and writer for the Ray movie, it's been long enough for me to be like, okay, like I could see, if you want to give me another Star Wars movie in 2 to 3 years, like I'll be excited about it. Like, give me some sort of speculation, hire like the right director, like give me a good writer, like let me think about what you guys are gonna do, like make it exciting for me. Yeah, Marvel is just throwing dirt against the wall and seeing what sticks and just hoping for the best. And I can't, you know, it's too flooded. It's too flooded with stuff. And so I would say Star Wars has that edge if they could figure out a direction they want to go, especially like right now. I think it's super critical in the next 2 years of their franchise to figure out and choose a direction they want to go, stick with it, and hire the right people that are going to fulfill that vision. Like, I would be like, heck yeah, like give me the Ray movie. Like, and I've heard even speculation, like if you want to do something, like give her a kid, right? Like maybe Kylo Ren impregnated her with his spirit because of some weird thing, and you can explain it well enough to me to where she has a child. But I don't want it to be like, oh well, it's the most powerful force user you've ever seen in your life, it's some little girl. Like I don't want that. I want it to be, if it is a girl, let it be a girl. I don't care. But like, she has to suck and suffer, and Rey has to die in the second movie for her to understand that like she's like part of a bigger purpose, and like has to like fight evil like as much as she possibly can, because it's what took her mom away, it's what took her family away, it's what took her house away, her everything. You know, like they could write things really well, but they just choose not to. And so I don't care. Make Rey awesome in this first movie, kill her in the second one. That'll make me say, holy bejeebus, the guy that's supposed to be a bad guy just wiped the floor with Rey, and now her daughter's supposed to do something about it. Wait a couple years, put out another movie of her being like 25 years old and like having to train all this time with somebody else. And you know, like they could, I don't know, just do something that like makes sense. Like don't I like it. I don't know, just give me something.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be those stakes. There's got to be reasons to care. You know, there has to be this struggle.
Yeah,
it can't all just be like handed to the characters and then just, you know, a walk in the park.
Have the new Jedi Order have Rey training all these kids, and maybe her daughter is like in the middle group, and there's some kids that are a little bit older than her, and at the end of the first movie Rey dies and those kids have to escape, and the whole second movie is them being like, we got to figure this out and people are hunting us, and like we need to train and go find a Jedi. And they do in the middle of the second movie, and he trains them for half the movie, and shoot, I don't know, maybe the Empire shows up and kills half those kids, and then the other half escapes, and there's like 2 or 3 of them left, and so the third movie is about them, like 10 years later after that, like trying to take vengeance, but they can't because they don't want to be part of the dark side because that's not the Jedi way. Like let's play around with these ideas. Like we don't need to get crazy. Have some OP character, no stakes. Somehow Palpatine returned.
I hear a rumor that Plagueis is gonna be in the Rey movie.
I know, me too.
It's like I don't know if I've always wanted it, but I think it's too late to bring him in now.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But I know we're trying to wrap things up here soon. I did want to just throw out some of our favorite things that have happened in 2023 before we take off. There's some great stuff. There's some great shows. There was some great. Well, I don't know if there were some great shows. I think there were some good shows, and I do think that there were a few great films. Yeah. So I've been wanting to throw out a couple of those just before we head out. Yeah, what do you think?
For 2023?
Yeah.
One Punch was probably one of my favorite shows.
You mean One Piece?
One Piece. And
yeah,
then,
for sure. Me too. Actually, yeah, that was a great show.
That was probably my favorite show.
I stand corrected. There was a great show.
Yeah, right. I think that was probably my favorite. Yeah. And then maybe and
guys, please go back and rewatch, or please go back and watch that review that me and Jake did with my brother and my nephew for One Piece. Like I think we did a great job breaking it down, and we had so much fun, like the four of us reviewing that show. I think it was the first time in a long time where like you and me and then like our guests were just like equally so excited and like happy.
Yeah.
For like
it was just such a great show.
A great show. Yeah, like I mean they took home the win, It was a show that really just took home the win for Netflix.
Yeah, I would say that was like hands down probably my favorite show of the year. And then gosh, movie wise, I'm gonna have to say something crazy here, folks. I'm gonna have to do it. No, I can't do it. I would say it's my most anticipated film of the year. I didn't enjoy it the most, but Haunted Mansion is up there for me.
That was the most anticipated?
For me, yeah. I was waiting for that movie to come out for at least 2 to 3 years, and it finally did. And did it disappoint? Yeah, a little bit. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the journey. And then I would say my most anticipated movie of 2024 would be Dune Part 2. It's going to be a fantastic film. I cannot wait to see it. It's Star Wars on steroids, like I'm jazzed up for it. So, but I mean, besides that, Marvel disappointed. The bejeebus out of me. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was okay. Everything else besides that was tragic. What if season 2?
Not completely true.
What?
You're forgetting a big one.
What?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it too much. I texted you right after, and I said that you said bugged me. It. I said it was okay. I said it.
You didn't like the ending.
Me. That it just was like, oh well, here's everything that's supposed to happen. Wait till 2025, and I was like, no, like you guys suck.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't.
I loved it. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I think that was the best film, in my opinion. That was the best film of 2023. Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. But you know what? I told you this not too long ago. Towards the end of last year, I watched a little film called Gran Turismo, and I I was wanting to watch it, but like
It's
I
a good
didn't
one.
I didn't run out to go see it in the theater. Pleasantly surprised. Um Kind of shocking, really, at how much I enjoyed it. Like I've watched it twice since then.
Have you never seen Cobra Kai though?
No, I haven't. I need to
Okay,
though.
go watch Cobra Kai.
But
Series. You'll like it. If you like Gran Turismo, I feel like
yeah.
you like Cobra Kai. Anyways,
But I told you too, like I was not expecting it whatsoever. Like I'm always someone that's like open to, you know, shedding a few tears through a movie. I usually don't, but I'm open to that idea because I feel like that speaks to the art. And like, yeah, Gran Turismo got me
it's
a
a
couple
tough one.
times.
It's a
It
tough
got
one,
me a
dude.
couple times. Like that movie is awesome. And I mean the racing was incredible. Like the racing scenes and some of the stuff that they did in that movie was just crazy. And then David Harbour like is such an amazing actor. Um like I don't know if he got nominated or anything. But I feel like he definitely deserved a nomination for something for his performance in that movie. It was so good. Um yeah, those were like two of my favorites. And then yeah, I thought Guardians was okay. We reviewed that on the channel. I've always been a huge Transformers fan. I know you have been too.
That was the best Transformers movie in a while.
I agree. It
In
always
a
makes
while.
it always reminds me of my brother. He was a huge Transformers fan as well. So yeah, getting to experience watching another one was like nostalgic for me as well, and like sentimental for sure. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, one of their better stories. And I mean, well, who is it? Michael Bay. Like what Michael Bay does, like his style, like he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like it works for his
Oh,
films.
he knows what he's doing, folks.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It
He
was one of
does.
the ones.
He
It was one of
hires
the better
some.
ones.
He's yeah. Anyways.
Let me see really quick. Was there anything else that we reviewed or enjoyed? I think all the other shows that we watched, they're either disappointing or they were kind of, for the most part,
Mid.
just okay to us.
Yeah.
Oh, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, Loki season 2 is what you're gonna say.
No.
Oh, his favorite series of the year, folks, coming in hot.
That was a fun review too. With our other buddy. What was his name again? Why am I forgetting his name?
For Vic.
Yeah,
Vic?
Vic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vic. Good guy.
Shout out Vic. Great guy.
Yeah,
Great guy.
the Mario's Brother movie is fun. Very fun.
Yeah, Mario's Bros pretty good.
And then you know what? A quick shout out to two games last year. Jedi Survivor and then Spider-Man 2. Both amazing games of 2023.
Most anticipated for 2024.
Probably Dune 2.
Is it Dune 2 or Deadpool 3?
No, it's Dune 2.
Is it really? You like Dune? You told me you hated Dune.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. 100%.
No, I didn't.
When I called it out the year before, you were like, no, that can't be on the list. I said, yeah, it is. And you said that movie sucked.
You are crazy.
That's what you said.
No. You're crazy.
Right. You sound like someone from the Harkins, dude. That's all.
Also, little keychain laser for you. Anyways,
just let the folks know at home.
Yeah. No, and I'm gonna be able to watch Dune 2 with some of my friends.
March 22nd, I think.
Yeah, right? I'll be going out of town, and we'll be watching it together. So I'm pretty excited about that.
He's gonna be in Southern California area.
No, I would let you know if I was.
You son of a gun. Choo choo choo.
What else
You
is
missed your opportunity.
I know, right? What else is coming out 2024, and then we'll head out.
I don't think Sonic 3 comes out until 2025. I think I honestly have no real idea. Deadpool 3, Dune 2,
And that's it.
There's like a few, but like nothing I'm interested in. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be a quiet year, especially for Marvel, and Disney, just in general. I think it's supposed to be a quiet year. I think they lost too much money the last like 2 years, so that makes me more excited. You know, I think a couple TV shows might come out this year. I think Stranger Things season 5 got pushed back till next year because the writer's strike really pushed back a lot of movies as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think like the two major ones I'm looking forward to is Deadpool 3 and Dune 2. And
right on.
Besides that, everything else can go kiss a fish. You know what I mean?
All right then. I think that's pretty much it for our show. It's good to be back, Jake. It really is.
Great. Yeah, it's great to be back. So, and I think once Bad Batch comes out, we might have to have a regularly scheduled program because it's something that I think we're both excited for and kind of want to get through. So we might do it every other week just to try to get like 2 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gonna be a little filler.
Yeah, we're back, guys. We're definitely back, but like Jake was saying, things are definitely quieter and slower when it comes to the content that we normally review. So we'll figure something out. But also, you know, don't forget we do stream games fairly often, and we're hopefully gonna get Jake on Lego Fortnite soon, and we've got a little squad, and we've been having some fun on there. It's so fun.
If not, we'll do some Fall Guys.
Yes. We'll do some Fall Guys too.
I know everybody loves the Fall Guys episodes.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that's everything, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hit us up on the podcast feed as well. And yeah, we will be back very soon for another episode.